Yeah, that one's working.
Okay. So here, and then we're gonna need a cook up here. Let's see if I can work on it.
Something to ask you.
Okay. Ask while I'm getting this set up.
Sounds good.
Okay.
It's 7:45. There's a little business fraternity like meeting
Uh-huh.
up. Like I think it's just like up this floor.
Uh-huh.
I need to show up and show face and shake some hands.
Uh-huh.
And I should be back before class is over.
Okay.
Does that work?
We'll be, who's in your group?
Allie and Lauren.
Okay. Do they know what's going on?
Yeah, they know.
Okay, so
Thought I heard like.
come in and out quick so that way we can,
Yeah, yeah. Sounds
Okay.
good. Awesome.
so what is it, at 7:45? So maybe let's do this, remind me, and then maybe we'll take a break.
Yeah, works.
That break, you know what I
Awesome.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds
So
good.
we'll take a break and then we'll do some things on here.
Sounds good.
So, what did we find out? Does it work? The batteries, are the batteries good?
Yeah,
Did you how do you know that?
it's turning on.
Okay, but there's no sound. But I mean, try, do you have new batteries?
I can check this.
Yeah, and try. You know what I mean? Everything goes wrong when you need it. Right? And is that working? Is that mic working?
Yeah, that mic should work.
It should.
Yeah,
but
this is
can't it?
working.
Can I use this one? I don't know if it's on. Oh, yeah.
Okay, we may,
This one over here.
yeah. If you can, yeah, if you can just check the batteries and then that way, because I'd rather have it with, so then I don't, you see how, you see everything we have to do and redo, and when they tell you it's no problem, how long have we been working on this? Weeks, getting it on, and then every time, no problem, and every time we check it, what happens? There's problems, and what I'm trying to teach you guys is that you don't need to know the solutions, but you have to make sure in your task that it be checked. And not even that somebody just says something, that they document and they show you. That's why something like screencasting, show me that NinjaTrader's installed. You know, they just have an icon here, right? Well, it wasn't working. So we have all these issues here. And then we need to get this running too.
Okay, do you have the broadcast?
What?
Do you have the broadcast?
I have to broadcast too. I have to start another broadcast and we'll be able to see another broadcast to be set.
Okay.
Maybe I'll bring a chair here. Now, how many seats does this seat? And this I don't understand too. The instructors in the front and we're all facing this way. You know, wouldn't it have been smarter to do, nobody asked the, so it's also the planning, nobody asked the end user what they wanna do. Right? Why not ask the student, and why not, who's choosing this? Either it's the student or the instructor. Why not go to the instructor and say, hey, before you design all of this, is this a problem? You as a student, you would know, if you have to take notes, you have to look here, you wanna look at the computer, you wanna look at both ways. Okay, so, what do we need? We need,
Set up the laptop.
yeah, and we need to set this up too. How far does this go? Does this go far enough?
Yeah. Sure. Do you want to connect the audio to it?
I don't think I'm doing audio, so I guess we could, but you think that'll help? Let me just try.
Should I switch it?
What, let me just first, let's see here. Let me do- You want to try here, and you can try to see if NinjaTrader 7 and 8, try remote 7. Okay, that's, see, because when I move around the clock, I like to have it on the lapel mic. So they were
Do
saying,
you want 7 or 8?
let's bring up 7, let's see. In the beginning, and then we'll talk about the other things that you were talking about.
Problem with shortcut.
What did they say?
It just said the shortcut has been moved. Yeah.
Do you know, what is this common shortcut? shortcut.
Shortcut.
Yeah.
They made a shortcut to it, but there's no file. Let's go.
See?
Yeah, so this is.
Everything. Why bring it back up? Hmm. So what I love to think about it is it's like a learning moment, right?
Looks like it was uninstalled, but
Huh?
NinjaTrader 7 was installed. Let's try the 32-bit. Okay, 32-bit works.
So in the same way as here, we gotta just check here. And let's connect, let's see if we can connect.
There's some
Stephen just logging in, why am I in trouble? Look here. Let me see.
Let's try the Wi-Fi.
Well, right now the cable's not long enough because it's zip tied.
Huh? Tell me. This is somebody came to us, and then why is it doing privacy? You wanna try log in with your?
Are they coming back? I guess they're replacing the batteries.
Matt, can you do me a favor when they come back, or if wherever they're seated, if we can get an eraser for the wall here? And maybe, I don't know, do we have a marker? Is there a certain marker that we're supposed to use? And markers too? Yeah, everything, thank you, Matt. Everything are issues when we want it, huh?
If you want to see if you get the laptop to show up.
Yeah.
Is this your bag?
What?
It has a 2 by 4.
What?
I thought we were just going to do Excel things. Yeah. Yeah, like you were the other. Well, pod over here.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool. So we can do that. Where'd you find the information?
No, she said it.
Oh, that.
But it also is.
Yeah. We watched the video from the last class.
You're like robot physics.
The issue is that it's trying to connect to an HDMI.
Oh, big deal.
Right, and then they have those.
It should show up, but what happens is the TVs are saying HDMI.
Do like a linear line and like
They all show up
6 degree
right.
exponential. It's really hard. Yeah, I mean there was no place to turn it on. Like on one, and there was not. Like the assignments are
Yeah.
just something we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we work together as a team, right? Okay, we have everything that are in. Okay, so we have that. What else do we need? We need also. Start that hangout. So this is, these are both broadcasting. And what am I seeing? Am I seeing, what does this show? Because I don't want this, is this like blocking?
It's not blocking you. No, you're fine.
That's much.
You're fine.
Huh?
It's good on this one.
Okay, where does this one have it? Okay, does it show that?
You want to just show the whole thing?
And here I want to show, that's the whole thing. That's
exactly
the whole, screen.
Thursday. Oh, that was so easy. It was just like annoying.
This one is a
And
better
you know
angle.
what? Let's do this. We don't need to show the window from here. See, we want to do basically from here. We don't need the window, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
You see the door?
Yeah.
Now we can show here, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you go in here, how are we doing, my loves? Huh? Hi. Okay, so can you do me a favor here? So,
Yeah, I have a friend that did that. Me?
yeah, let's look here. So this looks good. Yeah. But probably what we want to do here, so what happened?
have any research to share right now, but they give you some markers.
I really might have seen her pass.
Oh, also I know 2 girls from Tulane that did it.
We need a wedding?
Don't know any of those days, but yeah, they would kind of be able to do
You know we're coming.
Yeah, you spray.
Look at, so tell them, ask them what's supposed to be doing for the board.
Yeah.
This is not, are they bringing them out?
They have enough mic there?
That goes out?
They haven't figured out the lapel mics though.
We can use this though.
Can,
Do you need any other kind of mic?
So it's like,
wait a minute, this mic, please.
That should work. I mean, it's only, there's only that one student assistant in the office right now. It's just her.
Well, but there was that, yeah, that guy used.
He had a class to teach, apparently. So it's not there anymore.
Very specific.
Okay, we gotta mark it, but is there a way in which they don't even have an eraser, they say?
They were saying that they just sell.
I'm gonna check the fishbowl really quick.
they said that?
Yeah, they said they
Thank
like
you, ma'am.
have like
Yeah, you need to spray it.
Yeah. Do you wanna try water?
Yeah.
Yeah, just take some paper towel from the bathroom.
Fair. What are you an SAT?
no.
Did?
No.
Did? Oh, okay. How many people are you accepting this year?
Hi.
It's 6 months later, but I don't know.
What is
This is it.
It's like a 20 something.
So you know, the other one. So that's when that was awesome.
For what?
She didn't grow up with us.
Oh, it's just for that.
Who's your best friend?
So it's like 8, Nikki, and then you just like get
Okay, I'd rather you stay, but you know, it's all up to you, because when you do, I'm gonna do an assignment, so can you come late, tell me your class. I tell you what, I'd rather teach your whole group.
Just say Jerry.
just no, it's not in right now. It's like it's for
I would prefer, but you know what I mean, text them, tell them that there's class and you have to report them. You know what I mean, and then I'll try to end early, but just text them.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it wasn't, you know, the whole reason we're staying in the lab
Right.
is because it's important, otherwise I say,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do me a favor with your phone. Take a picture of that,
I know so.
and then send it to, David, and tell him that we weren't able to get the film on. Okay, folks, let's get our name tags. We're gonna try this out. Everything is experimental and we'll see how it works. Everybody who doesn't have name tags? You don't have name tags, you can get, here's some extra sheets, you can make yourself a sheet and maybe put it on top of your way. We can talk about a lot of the things, and what I'd like is when we have problems, we can do it. So let me just start my hangout. Let's see if it works. It doesn't, you know, did you see that mess?
Does it work?
No.
Wait, look at that.
So, how's this look, huh? Okay. One of the things that we can laugh about is this is experimental. And what I can really rest assured for you guys is when anybody oh God, I see my face like that. I'm laughing too, so let me start. I'm laughing as well. Isn't this funny? So anyways, what can I tell you? This was an experiment, and it may be our last experiment to see it. Everything, when people were telling me that everything was going to be working fine, no problem, what do you think? What do I always tell you when we're dealing with technology? What are we saying? Trudy, what are we saying? They're going to be, either they don't know what they're talking about, or they're lying to me, because there's always going to be issues. And what do we need to do, Matt? We got to double check, and we have to do it ahead of time. Each time we had to do it, we have to do it. We have so many issues here. One is they said I was going to get a lapel mic. No problem. Do you see a lapel mic?
I was reassured that every Monday at 6:25 there's gotta be a lapel mic right.
And what do you need to do then, Matt?
Double check.
Double check when? You know what's good? Are you here on Thursday? Are you here on Fridays? You work here on Fridays?
Yeah.
So Fridays, come in with those folks and say, I want to see this for Dr. Russian, and we'll see if it, you know what I'm saying? And see, and you kind of become the instructor and see if all of this is working. We got this. What else were we assured of? This board here. This board is like a paint board, right? And they paint it, and it's not even a regular thing. I can't even erase. You know how I always like to write on the board to give you extra notes? So I can write here, but maybe I'll do that. Now, do I need a special marker for this? Who knows? You don't think I do? Well, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to write then for you. I'm broadcasting now, so we'll see if it works. Today is what? And then they'll have to worry about, they'll have to paint over it. What's today's date? Who can tell? Where are all your name tags? Stone, where's your name tag? You're afraid to put up your name tag? Let's go. Everybody's name tag is up. Put it up high. In front of you doesn't work because I don't see. Put it on your computer. Or put it on the sides here. Yeah, that's good. Put them on the side so I can see. Okay, what's today's date?
The 11th.
The 11th. So it's Monday, January 11th. Well, in February, good. Cross out February, because I don't have an eraser, right? So at least I'm gonna use my sense of humor with you guys. Because everything that can go wrong, we'll use it as, what, agile development, and look at it as positive. Just like you, when you're doing homework, I don't mind if it doesn't work. You understand that, Brian? I don't mind if it doesn't work. What I'm concerned about is what? That you try, that you document it, and then we find what? We'll find a solution the next week. So everybody take a deep breath, and all the anxiety that I feel kind of in the room of, I'm not sure what's happening here, we're going to basically think about it, that's how technology is. And all the time, and what we need to do is that we need to supervise. One of the things that you're going to be here, and you know before you have a presentation, luckily we're among friends, but just think, this is for a board of directors, right, Matt? And we're supposed to be doing this, and they assured me, right, that I'll have a lapel mic. They assured me that my boards will be erased, and all of a sudden, I'm left. So we're going to always think about also, what are my backup choices? So, I have my broadcast here. I'm going to share my screen before I do it. So, I have it 2019, and what are we going to cover today? We're going to be covering data, what we call database management systems. We're going to be talking about big data. And under big data, we're going to also be talking about ATS, which stands for Automated Trading Systems. And what do I do in the beginning of every week is, what do we have every week, Sarah? Every week we have do we have a quiz every week?
Yes.
So what do I need, what is my responsibility, my role, Sarah? To
Post
make
it.
it available for you, right? So every week we know that we have this. So I'm gonna make a quiz available. Which one did you just do, Sarah? For this week?
Chapter 5, I think.
Chapter 5, you think, and what was the title of chapter 5?
I don't remember.
Everybody, who remembers?
Data something?
Data what? Database management systems data. It was all on
It's called
data. Huh? It was called data. Great. Perfect. I need to be a little taller. You see how it cuts me off, right? So next time we'll have a little stool. I'll have a ladder. Right, Matt? We'll ask for a ladder. We'll ask for a number of different things here. Okay. So I can do this. Okay. So we got that. So let me begin, and we'll talk about some of the things, and we'll see. And you'll give me feedback on where we go. So let me start off here. And I'm going to go to Blackboard, and you go to Blackboard too. And you should have download today for the PowerPoint under course documents in your regular section. Download data. Download automated trading systems, big data science, PPT. So let's do that. And let's open it up. Okay, so we have this one. We want to enable editing. And we have this. And what's the other one that I said that I want you to download? Anybody remember? Automated trading systems. And we'll upload this, and we'll do open. Now, do we have lights here? that matter. Lights behind you?
No.
Yes. Yes. Are there many lights?
Over there. Is that on them panel?
Where?
That big screen on the wall over there?
I don't know, I see so many things here. If you can come and look, we see lights here.
Yeah, it should be on there.
You want somebody to do that, Alex or something? You want to see if we have some lights here we can dim them? Okay, so I need to know, somebody was asking me what you needed to download. When you have questions, please stop me. Okay, right. So please.
It's back there.
It's back there? Okay. Stone, I appreciate you roaming around.
Just a rough guess.
I don't think so. You think so? Oh no, was there any lights here?
I turned off once before.
Really?
I forget it was this one.
Maybe the room, okay. So maybe ask somebody in the other room. Somebody in the other room knows it. Okay. So you were asking me, Ryan, you want to download the data and the automated trading systems within course documents of your regular section of PPT. Did you find it? Course documents, PPT. You want to download data and automated trading systems. You got it? So far, so good. Okay, so we got that part. I'm going to go to assignments. And under assignments, you should have available for you Chapter 1, TG1, which is hardware, TG2, which is software, right? And Chapter 5, the data. And now what do I need to make available then? Who can tell me? What do you think? Who can tell me? The next one, which is what? Chapter 4, right? Which is security. So I'm going to edit the test options. I'm always, instead of just make available, I'm going to see what we got. It says quiz, Chapter 4, security. It says open test in window. Make available to students. So Stone, what should I do?
Make it, yes.
Yes. I click yes, and then I make sure. Do you have 2 attempts? Because I want to get. You want 1 attempt or 2 attempts, Stone?
2.
2. Okay, so Stone decided for the group today. 2, and then what do I need to do, Stone? You're on a roll.
Submit.
Submit. So what role do I have? So here, I don't see anybody's names here on this side. Yeah, so I need to see it, not you. Hopefully, this side of the room isn't Alzheimer's victims and you remember your own name still, right? So in this case here, that we have it here, and you can even put it right there. Yeah, Nikki, right there, perfect. So I can see it, and those in the back room. Now, when we develop information systems or when we develop technology, what's the first thing we want to do? We call something agile development. Put it in your notes. Agile, A-G-I-L-E, and I'm just going to use the word dev for development. Who remembers what that means? Raise your hand if you remember. And if not, what should you be doing? Yeah, right. So you can be using this machine or your own machine, we'll see. So what do we got? What is agile development? Yes, Ron. Right, so it's teams working together on different parts of technology. Do we have name tags here? After Noah, right? We're in the corner here. Okay. Teams working in different technologies, and basically this is what it is, folks. Agile development means working on small tasks within a group, deciding what the end goal is, and going back and getting feedback and making improvements. It's like, Ryan, it's like continuous improvements all the time. That's how, in this case, Jack, I'm running the class. Continuous improvement. So if last week we had some problems, who had problems last week with the homework? Nobody? Everybody got it perfect? If everybody got it perfect, then I'm gonna expect everybody, I'll be asking questions to everybody. So raise your hand, it's a good time, right? You don't wanna fake in here, so we had some issues here. So one of the things is, we have to articulate where was the problem, and then what? Someone in your group or other groups can help you resolve that problem. So, we have agile development here that we'll go through. So, what is your role then? Ryan, you're on a roll then. This Ryan over here, you're on a roll. What was your role to check? Which role are you taking in this, in what you see right here on the screen? What role do you have? What's my question? Before we even can worry about answering a question, we got to figure out what the question was, right? So what's the question? Ryan.
What role does the agile development while you're doing whatever you do in this class? What role do you
What role? Right here, this screen here. Do you have this screen on your computer? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. My screen says the last thing I have quiz chapter 4 security, and then I have quiz chapter 12. Everybody see that? Do you guys have quiz chapter 12? No. Why?
It's not available.
It's not available. What role do you have? You have a student role. You have a student's role, so you don't have everything. I have a higher role than you do. And we always said it's what? The need to know. Roles, you can put it in your notes. Roles are established by what, Nikki? The need to know.
Okay.
Just as if I asked Matt in the back, do I need to know his grades for this class? Yes. Does he need to know his grades for this class? Yes. Does he need to know everybody else's grade? No. Do I need to know Matt's grades in his other classes? No. So I don't want to have access, and I shouldn't be allowed to have access if I don't. It would be different, Matt, if I were your advisor and I need to know maybe what you've done the year and advise you how you know, which math you should take, how you've done. That is across the board in technology, the principle. Need to know. And what gets violated many times is what? People gain access for their need not to know. Think about supposedly, you know, the Russians came and attacked our election system. Were they supposed to have that? It wasn't their need to know, right? So they should be restricted, or whatever laws are in place. So everybody with me. So what should your role be, Stone, is that you should be able to see, did I do it correctly? Do you have for next week? So put in your notes now. People were asking me, right? I'm not sure what is due for next week. You know that usually a quiz is due. Which quiz is due, Brian? This is Brian. Which quiz is due for next week?
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. What should have been done for this week?
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5. Okay? Everybody with me? So we know we have one homework assignment is doing the quizzes, and we usually have those quizzes every week. Got that? If I go back to my PowerPoints, right? I have chapter 5. Let's just go over chapter 5. You were supposed to try to do this from, it's called Data and Knowledge Management, and one of the biggest trends in technology is called big data and looking for trends. One of the ways that we look for trends is we use it with the aid of the computer. The aid of the computer is one of the ways to look for patterns, to have the computer learn, is by what we call artificial intelligence. And just today, I heard on the news while I was coming here, is that the President of the United States decided that he wanted to put more emphasis in AI. Anybody know why? Why did the President want to put more emphasis on AI? And if we make a name tag, it's hard for me to see from there, right, Nicole? It's hard. So take a marker and then break that up. What was the reason for the impetus in AI? What do you think? Brandon, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, right. So basically, what is AI and why is that important? Shulin, Wu, how are you? Good. Happy New Year. Okay, so Shulin, why do you think, I'm calling on you for a special reason. Why do you think President Trump wanted to emphasize AI? He was saying that another country in the world was getting involved, is quite advanced in AI. Take a guess, Shulin, what country that he was talking about that's getting quite advancements in AI? China. Good. So basically, China has done a lot of resources in AI, artificial intelligence. And where is that artificial intelligence? It's in IoT. What's IoT?
Information of technology.
Basically, information of things, right? So give me an example, Nikki, of IoT. It could be what?
Google.
It could be what?
Google.
Well, think about what Google has devices that are IoT. Apple has devices that are IoT, like what? Who can help Nikki? Trudy, how are you?
Can you read the question one more time?
I'd love to repeat the question one more time. Did you hear that? I'd love to repeat the question one more time. So the question is, what's an example of an IoT device? Because we say within those IoT devices, AI, artificial intelligence, resides there. What's an example of an Internet of Things device? What? Alexa. What else? Anybody ever use Alexa? So you've even used it. What else? Anytime when I say Siri, right? Anytime when I'm using any voice recognition, what else, Stone?
I was just gonna say Siri.
Siri, what else?
Like a GPS system?
A GPS, what else?
So would an Apple Watch count because it has Siri on it?
It's Siri's on it. And then what else? I've used my GPS, what else? When I'm even talking to any of the machines, when I'm being able to do voice to text, text to voice, that's all using what? IoT devices, thermometers, right? Based in my house. Anybody hear about smart lights? Anybody hear about security systems? Can you see what's happening in your house with the security system? What can you see then? Basically, from your phone, you can see what it is. So that's an IoT device. What's the main thing about an IoT device? It gets internet access. So what's the problem there? We have to worry about security, right? So it can get hacked. You know it in terms of this. So we have data all around. And what we want to do is we want to manage data, and these are areas in which I'm going to go over today. The main one is what's the difference with data and a database approach? What do we mean by big data? What's the difference between a data warehouse and a data mart? And what do we mean by knowledge management? For this part of the class, section 6, appendix, everybody hear that? I'm not going to go over. We won't have that on the exam. Okay, for appendix 6. Did you hear that, Stone? What did I say?
Appendix 6. Appendix 6 will not be in the
Yeah, that appendix right there, right? So we're not going to go over it this time. So we think about the ideas of difficulties of managing my data and what I call data governance. What kind of problems, Alex, can I have in managing data?
Security,
Security. What else?
maintenance, takes up a lot of space.
Maintenance. Let's say Alex, he's done so well, right? Your major is partly computer science, right? So I'm gonna have those of you that see him, I asked Alex especially to help me with these classes since he has computer science degree, right? It's a good idea rather than sitting here and listening that he already knows what open source is. He already knows something. Why not he be like a teaching assistant, right? Why not use those capabilities and he can learn more and he can learn how to manage and he can learn how to teach. So anybody, we're going to talk about it, that when you're getting stuck in groups, right, and you're having issues there, I've asked Alex that you can, Alex, what group are you in?
Group number?
Yeah, you know?
I don't.
What's your last name?
Luce.
Luce, L-U-C-E. So Alex, you can see he has his phone number there, right? And you can see what group he is. It may be a good resource. Right, Jared?
Right.
So, we're talking about the difficulties of managing data. Let's say Alex done so well and he does consulting jobs and he moves from, he's living in the dorms, and let's say he wants to move. Where's a nice place to move in Miami? Any ideas? Where should he move to? He has a lot of money now. He's done a lot of consulting. Where should he go to?
Abel's Ponds.
Huh?
Abel's Ponds.
Gable's Ponds. Any other idea? Anybody been to Fisher Island? That's kind of, I was invited there. I don't live there, but I was invited there. You have to go on a little ferry. I didn't like the ferry, you know. I didn't like to be on the ferry. But anyway, so let's say he moves to Fisher Island. What data does the university have on him? Where is his data residing? This is a question for everybody here. Where does his data reside? Katie, let's do this. I can't see that. So mark. Two further markers. Where does his data reside? Where in the university? Pick one place. No. Where does this data reside? In the whole university. Where is data, or your data, where does it reside? Think about you. Don't even think about Alex right now.
The cloud.
Huh?
The cloud.
No, but where? Who has access to your data?
You.
I do. One. Who else? Am I the only
Advisor.
one? Huh?
An advisor.
An advisor. Who else? Nikki's on a roll. Who else? Who in the university has data on you? Does housing? Who else, Simon, has data on you?
With the registrar.
The registrar. Who else? That's it? How about housing? What else? Anybody? IT? What else? Anybody have a car? Parking, right? When you have to register your car? Anybody go to the wellness center? The health center? They all have data on you. And let's say you move. Uh-oh. Because when we think about, put that uh-oh in data governance. Because why? Data governance means somebody has to be responsible for the data. When it changes and it updates, we make sure that it's the right way. When your grades, when all, you get straight A's, and when that your grades get sent to you, you don't want to be sending it to another place where you don't live anymore. And then we think about financial aid, we can go on and on. A file system, you can put in your notes, a regular file system keeps all the data separate to all owners of the data. So it's separate. So my registrar is separate, my wellness is separate. It's all going to be separate. And what the problem is here, when I have any updates, I'm going to have problems with that. So these are the difficulties in managing data. I get them from multiple sources. Data rot means that it's old. Some data is old. Data degradation means that it may not be timely. I have a problem with, Alex said, data security, the quality of my data. And what does integrity mean? what does integrity mean? Grant, what does integrity of my data mean? Yes. Huh?
It's like quality.
The quality. Think about it. Has anybody ever said to you, I want to, have you ever heard the word integrity? Not with data. What does integrity mean to you? That you have integrity. That you like that person, for instance, Brandon, because he has integrity. What would that mean? Honest, what else? That you can rely on him, that you can basically say in this case that it's integrity. So what do you think data integrity means? Trustworthy data. That when it says that you have an A, I can trust that you have an A. I'll tell you a story. This story is a true story. I was at another institution teaching, and this deals with roles. What did I say about roles? Is roles in security, not only should I have what? What is the important thing about roles in security? Is what? The need to know. And I was at this university, and we always think about the need to know. And anybody in entrepreneurship or want to be an entrepreneur and start your own company? Who wants that? Anyone? Yes, I have a couple here. So, in this case, you want to start your own company? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Where's my marker? Do I have my marker? I don't want to hold my marker. So, if I want to start my own company, what do they always tell you when you want to start your own company? That you should do what? Make your name tag darker. What should we do? What do they always tell you when you want to start your own company? That you should do what? Should start a company about you have no idea about, that you hate the subject.
You gotta be passionate.
You want to be passionate and you want to do it, okay? So, at this university, it was a while ago, thank you so much. At this university, what they did is a student started his own business. And I don't want to say something like to do this, but let's even use Alex as an example. Somebody like Alex, he says, I want to start something. I know what? I know computers. And what else? I'm a student, so what else does he know? He knows computers, and what else does he know? By being a student. What does he know? He knows basically what are the needs of a student, because he's a student, right? If you were saying write an application for a professor, if you're not a professor, really, you may not know what the needs of a professor. But of a student, he knows. So he basically started this company. So he says, I know what students like. I know what students want. And what do students want always? When I'm in the beginning of a semester, did I tell you I hate to go to the wellness center? Anybody go to the wellness center and work out? I hate to work out in the beginning of the semester at the wellness center, because I always have students come up to me that I've had before, and they go, Dr. Rushinek, oh yeah, hi, how are you? About my grade. And I swear, I've been teaching many years, and I have never, ever, maybe you'll change this for me, I have never had a student come up to me and say, Dr. Rushinek, my grade. And then the next sentence was, you gave me an A and I don't deserve it. I think you should change it to a C. I've never had that. I've always had what? What do you think they complained about? Or they commented about to me? About their grade. What do you think it was? Brandon, what do you think it was? They're lower than they thought they deserved, right? So it seems like, Diana, it's what? It's a need of students, what? To what? Try to boost up their what? Grades, right? It's important to them. When I tell you, what do you want? Do you want to earn an A in this class? People say, I don't care. Give me a C, give me a D. It doesn't matter. Very few would say that, right? So what do you think he went into business doing? He knew what? He knew the computer, and he knew that students wanted good grades. And I'm telling you the story because this story was written in the papers. So what was the story? Any guesses? What do you think he wanted to sell?
Gotta close that.
He wanted to service students. What do you think? What do you think? Any ideas, Katie? He knows computers. And what did I say about students? They want good grades. And it wasn't that ethical.
Oh, change your grades.
Who said that? Okay, Brandon. Okay. So change your grades. So basically that's what he did. He created a business to change your grades. And notice I'm talking about this because he must have gotten caught, right? Because I'm telling you this story. And he wanted to change his grades. And then how do you think you need then what? What's the next thing? I know the product, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to charge. What are my costs, and what am I going to charge? So for somebody like Alex, and I'm not saying it was Alex, right? But somebody like Alex, how much effort would it be? And if I want to go from a B to an A, or I wanted to go from a D to an A, how much more effort would it be for Alex to change? Simon? None. It's the same keystroke. If it says a D, change it to an A, and if it says a B, change it to the A. So he's not going to be charging by time. What do you think he'll charge by, Simon? Huh?
Your grade is improving.
How much? Maybe by grade. So my question to you is, if I'm telling this story, how did he get caught?
Overcharged.
Okay, and when he overcharged, excellent, Garrett, and then what happened?
People started talking about it.
Right, people started talking about it. No controls, no systems that you're seeing. It's basically got too greedy. And anybody ever seen those shows like Greed or something, you know? If you looked at any of those frauds, what happens, Garrett? It's basically people start off with not even intending to be really crooked, and they do it one time, and then they do it the second, and then they basically get greedy, right? We can think about many people in our lives like that. Okay, so it becomes quite greedy here, so you can do it. So he was caught, and it was an embarrassment for the university, because just think about it, Garrett, you go for an interview from XYZ University, and I say Garrett has a 4.0 average, and I just read in the local paper that there was a guy there that was changing grades. And thinking about this in this case, what I was thinking about before, this is the idea of integrity. Because can I rely on, you remember like what I was saying before, can I rely then, Grant, on integrity? Can I rely on the grades?
No.
Why not? Because you don't know, did the guy change Garrett's grade, or was he legitimate and never had to ask for the services? So that's the key here in that slide when we talk about integrity, is can I rely on, just like on a person, can I rely on the grades? So when I'm going through this, I can have multiple sources of data coming internally from the organization, from personal sources, and also from external sources that can come through it. So I have something called a database approach, and a database approach has what we call a minimizing three problems. You need to know these three problems. A database approach minimizes data redundancy. Because you remember when I talked about your data being in multiple files around the university? You remember that, Michelle? What's the problem? When I change it in one area, what happens to the other area? If you change it at the register, it may not be changed in parking. So I'm going to reduce that data redundancy. Data isolation, that one bit of data is just in one area. So if somebody came to me, anybody into the sports? Anybody doing sports here? What are you doing? Football. Anyone else? Yes. Swimming. So in this case, Carmen, right? So if Carmen, and where are you from, Carmen? Spain. Somebody came to me, if they asked me, I'm wanting to have a female that's Hispanic, right? And is on a sports team, and let's say has a grade above 3.5. For myself, do I have access to that? In my files, I don't. So if I had a database management system that the data is centralized, then I could then eliminate that data isolation. Do you understand that, Carmen? And data inconsistency is that it's consistent along the way. Any questions, comments? So what I have here is I want to maximize, and put this in your notes here, you want to maximize these three opportunities. I want to maximize my data security because what I'm doing in a database management system, put it in your notes, is the data is centralized. Instead of having it redundant across the network, it is going to be centralized. So what's the problem with that? I'm going to worry about it. There's just one place to steal all my data. If I put the credit card in your name and all your IDs and all your passwords, I only have to go to one database to find it. Rather than it be maybe your password's something else, maybe where you live is someone else if I want to do identity theft. And then I want to maximize data integrity and data independence. So this is the key for data, data, data. So in this case, this is the hierarchy. I'll be asking you this. We're having an exam. We'll have it a week before. When? Spring break. I don't want you to worry about in spring break that I'm going to come back to an exam. It's better we have it beforehand. So we got to get prepared for the exam as well. So I have the data hierarchy is then combined with this. A bit is what? Just a 0 and 1. A byte is a character. A field. If I have a spreadsheet and I have columns in a spreadsheet and I have rows in a spreadsheet, what is the field? This is a good test question. Everybody hear the test question, Simon? Did you hear it? If I have a spreadsheet, I have rows and columns. What would be called the field in that table? The rows or the column? Can you repeat the question, Simon?
Like in a spreadsheet,
It-
you have rows and columns.
In a spreadsheet, I have rows and columns. And on that list, it says field. In the data hierarchy, what is the field? The row or the column? So let's think about a student database, a student table. What would be, you remember I passed around the roll? Just the same thing. What do I have? Who does my roll sometime, right? Somebody writes a roll, and what do they put for the first column? They put first, last. What do I ask? A lot of times I ask phone number, and then I'll ask what? I'll ask upload homework 1, upload homework 2. All of those columns are called what, Simon?
That's not right.
Fields. The data file or table is what in a spreadsheet? Equivalent. It's like a worksheet. And a database are a number of tables that are combined together make up a database. So you can see here, big data then is defining the big data, managing that data, leveraging that data, and basically it's either going to be diverse, high volume, high velocity, and it's going to make, this is the key here, for big data, the key is insight and discovery. I'm going to gain insight and discovery about my data. And then I'm going to here are generate a high velocity and defining it, and you can see here. And I have something called data warehouse and data marts. What's a warehouse? Like a large place with inventory, right? I have something called a data warehouse, and put it in your notes. A data warehouse is always historical data. Everybody hear what I just said? A data warehouse is historical data. That means it is not live. It means that it's not what I have live in my inventory. A data warehouse, I'm putting in, basically you can think about historical data so I can see what are the patterns to that data. a data mart is a subset of a data warehouse. Where does it reside? It can reside in the cloud, but it resides on as data in computers somewhere. So I'll worry about this later on. Next week I'll go into this. It looks kind of confusing, right? This little idea, but really what you kind of just have to figure out is I have data, I have to clean the data, and then I have to make some hypothesis about the data, and then I got to get the computer to bring me some insights about the data. So this is the data warehouse that you need to know. This is data, and how am I going to remove that data, and how am I going to work with that data? Okay, questions? So does that come back to what we were doing before? So the difference between database management system and a regular data file is that a database management system is centralized in one location. My data is not going to be combined together. Questions? So this is the key. And the other part with what I wanted you to know was the other one with the autonomous. Was this slide. Brian, you were asking me which slide it was. It was this one. And this one is not part of your book. It is my notes. Now let me tell you, there's going to be two parts to the test. Everybody wants to know about the test, right, Garrett? It's like I'm selling something of what are the students wanting. They always want to do well on the test, and how's the test going to be? The test is going to be two parts. One part from the readings of the book and the quizzes. The second part of what we're doing for homework and the lectures. So the homework and the lectures, what I'm trying to do is have it come alive to you and you basically try it out. Will it work every time? No. But you have an idea of getting your hands dirty, basically, and will improve each time we go. So this is an idea in which I'm thinking about the idea of data. Using what we call automated algorithmic software trading. And when I'm thinking about that automated software trading, we need to know a couple of definitions. One is, what's an algorithm? An algorithm is a specific set of clearly defined instructions aimed to carry out a task. I got a call coming in. Yes. Okay, yeah, they did. I don't have a lapel mic. Thank you. Thank you. So I need to stay in front of the microphone because people are watching us and they can't hear me. So I'm going to need to stay. And next time, hopefully Matt will get a lapel. Okay, so I have an algorithm that's specific. And give me an example of an algorithm. An algorithm may be a defined set of instructions for whom? The computer, to tell me, for instance, when to buy and when to sell a trade. And the process of using these computer programs to follow a defined set of instructions to trade in order to generate it. And you'll see right here, there's a link here in your slides to look at. So put in your notes, in the slides, and I guess this is slide 3, under automated trading systems. If you click on this in the automated trading system, it'll bring you to Wikipedia talking about automated trading systems. Okay? So it will bring you to automated trading systems. We talked about high-frequency trading systems that are carried out by the computer to move in and out quickly. And this is what we need to know for your exam. You remember we were talking about the exam where it's going to be two parts? a question for the exam could be on the second part, which will be open-ended, meaning that you will write. Question could be, what are automated trading systems? And what's the difference between a strategy and an indicator? And basically, a strategy combines a number of indicators to allow the computer to trade on behalf of an individual. And indicators do not submit orders. Indicators do not support multiple time frames. And indicators do not support automated trading, only strategies do. And here you have a Wikipedia link. Another question could be, what are the advantages of automated trading systems? First of all, a human being gets too emotional. And an advantage of an automated trading system, before you trade, you can back test on that system to test the historical data before risking my money. What you can do then is I can see how well did the system do had I traded on that strategy. It will allow you to preserve your discipline and trade multiple accounts and various strategies at the same time because it's so quick. Another possible question I could ask you is, what's the disadvantages of automated trading systems? And one, first of all, they're not infallible. Two, what happens if the computer goes down? What happens if my internet goes down? And is it quick? Yes, so my losses can happen much more quickly. And here is the trading platform, and this is what we're going to be using tonight, is ninjatrader.com. The reason that I brought us into this lab here is this is an example of ninjatrader.com. It's a platform to do automated trading systems. What it will be doing well is it's a good example of what big data can do. It's also an example to be more effective and efficient. It's also an example of what we call quant programmers that are working in teams to allow maybe 80 to 90% of the market is using these algorithms and trading strategies. Okay? So, we're going to start doing some, and then what we'll do is, it's up to you. Do you want to take a break now and come back in 5 to 10 minutes, or you want to start now and then take a break a little bit later? How many people want to take a break now? Raise your hand. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a short break. Let's get back here by 7:30. Go to the restroom, do what you need to do, grab a drink or something. We'll come back, and then we'll do the homework that's going to be due for next week. And hopefully, many of you can finish a good part of the homework. And that's the only thing here. I'll be doing this with you. So let's start at 7:30. We'll come right back here at 7:30, and we'll do the programming, and we'll look at what's quant programming. We'll look at source code. We'll be familiar, and then we'll take some of the trading algorithm and export it to Excel, and then we can do some graphs with Excel. So let's do that, okay? So let's start back at 7:30. 5-minute break. Okay? And if you have questions, please feel free to see me or talk to someone that you need to, that we can do. Okay, and then we'll see if this works, huh? do it?
Ish. Like I know we have to do like an Excel.
Okay,
So, yeah.
we'll start with that. We'll start with the Excel. The first thing right after, I'll start with the Excel and then I'll go to the second thing. On review. And who's in your group?
Gary and Garrett.
Okay, and did you get it, Garrett?
The what?
The homework for Excel?
I was actually just about to ask you.
Okay, what's the question?
I can't figure out how to do my trend.
Okay, so we'll
Trend
go.
line?
Yeah. Okay, we'll go. Why don't we go quickly over it? The first thing after the break.
And I can't really figure out how to click on the line periods. Like it won't let me click on the line.
Okay. All right. Simon, did you get that homework
Yep.
for the trend? Here, right for right now, can you sit next to Simon and if he can't, and that's the whole beauty of helping each other. When I was talking about it, yes. Yeah, well, I'm not going to down right here. Thank you. So we're on the break. So you can see that.
I don't think you can do it on the online version.
What?
You can't click on the line. It doesn't let you.
So you may need to what do you mean? You didn't download it? Can't you get the download version?
Yeah, I think I got downloaded. I've been
Okay.
using the internet version.
What?
I've been using the internet version. I think
And you don't, you sure you can't do it? Did you try?
Yeah, it's not like the normal website.
It has a lot
Okay,
of
so
less functions.
so it's good to find out. So download the, you get it free.
Oh, okay, perfect.
You know what I'm saying? Show them where, it should be in the area, right, where you get the software? Miami.edu software, I think. So where do we get the software? Can you help me here? Software for students. Learn more here, right? Okay, and then what do we need to do here? Adobe, Autodesk,
Well, Microsoft Suite.
where is it? Did I miss it?
Now go down and then.
Okay. Yeah. You see this, Garrett? You can get the full one, free.
Yeah, that's what I'm hitting that right now.
Yeah. So that's why you have issues, right? What other issues do we have? So Carmen, how far did we get with the homework? Did you download the data? Huh? Okay, so you downloaded the data, so what was the issue after that?
Then you have to read the graph.
Yeah.
And get the trend lines.
Yeah, so what was the issue? Huh?
And then you have to
So it turns out I'm not an
like,
expert.
like predict 5 periods
Right,
and then compare to the actual
right,
data.
right. So what's your issue? You got the exactly what you need to do, so what's the problem?
What the problem is? The problem is what?
What? So what's your issue? So didn't you come up to me and say that you had problems doing it?
I did.
Oh, you did it, okay. Simple, okay. So is he in your group, Garrett? So, who's sitting next to you? Yeah. Okay. What is your name? Trudy? You were having the problem? Issue? For the what? For the homework?
Yeah.
Okay. And Trudy, did you get the homework?
Yeah.
So why don't you sit there and you can help us? What are the issues?
I think I got it right.
You got it right. So why don't you help each other? Okay?
Are we supposed to submit that Excel? Where do we, I looked on both the Blackboard pages. Where do we put it?
We'll go over it.
Okay.
Do you want to start? We'll start. Where are the rest of the pages?
Here, I can show you my comments.
Help each other. That's the beauty.
So you just go to find a step over here. Go Yahoo Finance.
Folks, that's the beauty here in the class is have people help you.
Guys,
Diana, did you get it working?
What working?
Where did you get stuck? Nikki, did you get it done?
Yeah.
So turn around
Are you stuck?
and help them.
I'm not stuck.
She's
Got
not.
stuck, okay. So your problem with the version that you were using?
What?
Garrett, your problem, it's good to articulate.
Yeah.
What was it? So basically, you know what you should do? Is with your problems, upload it, and then you'll even get recognition. Let me just show you where I need to go.
The discussion board?
You have to make her own goal. Okay. Then go to download that one.
So Nicole, did you have problems with the homework? Perfect.
Go to A, see the line between A and B, double click right there. And then highlight the data and go to actually don't have, so highlight date, and what do you want to do? You want to do open or close?
No, let's do open.
Open? Okay.
Everybody do open.
And go to insert. Great, next one. Insert. And then, go to, see where it says charts, click the one up to the line.
Okay. So Jack, did you do the homework?
Yeah,
No. Or
no.
you have problems? Okay. Okay, folks.
Okay, click on down.
Stone, you ready? Yeah, fill up your water. Can you do me a favor, Jack? Fill up my copier. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks.
then you want to go to add that element.
So, how are we doing? Okay?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. All right, let's go. So what I'd like you to do, folks, is find NinjaTrader 7 on your desktop.
You wanna use it on that computer?
I'm recording here.
Did you get it working
What?
on the laptop? Is NinjaTrader working?
Should be. An issue? What's on here?
On my mind, yeah.
Remember?
I think I got it working.
Did you get this? Is it first thing screen?
Okay, we should add.
Okay.
More than enough. Okay, and then. Paul, no, we don't have to. I don't know why it's not doing that too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, folks. We talked about ATS. What's ATS? We talked about the acronym ATS. Nicole, you remember?
Just play around.
Automated Trading Systems. I got automated trading systems, and if you go to NinjaTrader.com,
You got it? Okay, but then you want to show the R squared and equation.
you'll see
Well, just, format.
you will see a company called NinjaTrader that is a broker. Also, it does charting, market analysis, and market simulation. It has charts, you can simulate, you can develop, and it has a brokerage firm within it. what we'll be using this platform is for simulation at the beginning and also looking at source code and seeing how to best use automated trading systems. So, for your homework assignments, I want you to use NinjaTrader. You can download NinjaTrader 7 and 8 on your personal laptops or computers if you have a version of an OS called Windows. If not, you can work in any other computer that has Windows. This lab, and I'm trying to get right the other labs, but this lab has this installed, Windows 7 and Windows 8. That's why I came tonight to this lab to make sure that it actually is working. They assured me that all the rooms would have Windows 7 and 8, and do you think they do? No. So we're going to make sure that at least we know this room has it, and hopefully the others will as well. The difference between 7 and 8 is basically 8 is more sophisticated with more functions to it. But what I'm going to start off with tonight is 7, and then we'll move up to 8, and especially those of you that want to do your projects on automated trading systems, I'll show you some more advanced features. But I want to have everybody understand the basic versions of an automated trading system. Okay? So, we did Excel last week where we tried to use forecasting. And what type of forecasting methods did we use? We used what? Carmen, what did we use? Regression, right? We used regression and we used linear regression. And what other kind of regression, Noah? From last week. Polynomial. And what's the difference? Excellent. What's the difference between polynomial and linear? Linear sounds like it's what? A line. And polynomial is what? It's going to be curved. It's not going to be a line in here. And what we want to do, what's our whole purpose, is we want to minimize our errors and be more exact in the future. So, there's nothing up my sleeves. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and we're going to get started. Yes?
Should we download NinjaTrader 8 or 7?
If you have a Windows machine, download both.
Really?
But we're going to start with 7. So for tonight, you have a Windows machine, Jerry?
Yeah.
So for the Windows machine, you can download 7 for tonight. Okay? So, what do we need to do then? Let's look at the desktop. And is it in your desktop here? You should see something that says what? Ninja. Let me look. It should say what? Alex, maybe you can walk around and you can help people here. Where is it? It says where? NinjaTrader 7?
Yeah, it's right there.
So let's try to see if it works. Everybody click on NinjaTrader 7. And maybe you can walk around. Who's having issues? Alex has done this exercise already. He's going to be doing more advanced techniques. If you have any problems here, he'll help. If you have a problem, raise your hand. What's your problem, hon? You can't do it.
Do we download it on these computers?
No, they should be here already. They should be here.
So should we download them on our laptops right now?
If you have Windows, do you have Windows on your laptop?
I have a Mac.
Right. So do you have the operating system Windows? So that's why we're here.
Okay.
Okay?
If we do have it on our computers, how do we get to it?
Do you have NinjaTrader 7?
I have Windows on my laptop.
Okay, so you have to go to ninjatrader.com and download NinjaTrader 7. Or you know what you may want to do right now, Diana, is work with what you have on the machine there. Okay? Does everybody then? What does everybody's screen look like? Do you have what I have right here? Okay. Everybody has this screen, what I have right in front. You may want to take notes then, because we're going to be doing this exercise and some more exercises next time, and you can use this lab. So it's NT7 we're using. If you have questions, please raise your hand. Now, in NT7, it's asking us for a connection, a username, and password. Put in your notes. We're going to skip that. We're going to skip username. We're going to skip password. And a lot of different tips come up. Those of you that want to know this, look at this. You see how this is moving right now on the screen? What do you think they were using? They were using like a screencasting program, right? To teach somebody else how to use it. So what's nice, some people for their project, for the class, basically took a lot of strategies and created some screencasting programs to teach other people how to use a trading platform. But just to show you here, they have a lot of tips in this in NinjaTrader. They have a YouTube channel, plus they have, if you go to Google and type NinjaTrader tutorials, they have some basically help. They have hundreds of tutorials teaching you about this. But I'm going to just skip it, or I'm going to close out. And right now I'm going to close this chart because I had this chart before. So I'm just going to close this chart right here and exit this chart. And you should get what you see right here is the control center. The control center here is a way in which we can create charts. It's a way in which we can, if you look at it, we do strategies, we can execute. I can have a log of all my performances. I can get tools where I can look at my scripting and I can get help. In the support center, if you look at that, you notice you can even go to YouTube, you can go to Twitter, you can go to Facebook, and you can get a lot of different help in terms of using this platform. What we're going to do is we first need to get external data. We need to connect to external data. So Noah, if I go to File, I want to connect to external data. Where do you think I need to go? Connect. And I want data, but what do I, you remember I'm a cheapskate? Everybody remember that about me? And what do I like then? Michelle, what do I like? I like free, right? So what data should I connect to?
Free.
Free, kinetic end of day. Now, just so you know, high frequency trading usually is not the end of day. It's usually tick by tick. And they may only trade for a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That's high frequency trading. By the time we blink our eyes, Sarah, it basically, the trades are over. They went in and went out. But right now for the beginning, we're going to do the end of day. Just like we did in our Excel spreadsheet. You remember where we did end of day for the Yahoo Finance, we get the data coming in from an external feed. So it's similar in that aspect. And you should see on your screen, put a note there, you should see on the lower left-hand corner, Katie, what do you see? In the lower left-hand corner, if you said connect, what are you seeing? Connected. And it should say kinetic, right? So basically, Katie, that means what? That you've connected then to their data feed with basically a way in which almost you do Yahoo Finance, you connected to their data as well. the next thing I want to do is I want to display on a chart a symbol. Just like we did, we connected in a chart before, Sarah, you remember? Now we're just going to do it with this platform. So I want to get a new chart. So I'm going to do File, New, and then where do I go next? Who can tell me? I want a chart.
Chart.
Chart. Wow, what a class. And I'm going to say charts. At this point, Jerry, you see where I am? At this point, I need a symbol. I can do futures. I can do a number of different futures, but I can do the S&P. I can do NASDAQ. I can do the Dow 30. You can do any symbol that you want. What did I do last time I used which symbol for my example? Apple. So I have here, I can click, or what I can do is I can type in a symbol. So what you would want to do is each person in your group pick another symbol. You can work with your group, but put a note here that everybody needs to do a different symbol. At least one symbol and we'll do it. But you can work as a group to help each other. That's the whole purpose here with that agile development. Even if we don't get it the first time, Garrett, what happens? The next week we'll get it and everybody in your group will help you. So I have it now as, and you should have it as your symbol. And notice on the bottom, this is a new symbol for me. So what should I press? In this case, Stone. It's a new symbol for me. So what should I press? New. So I should have it then be in the lower hand of the box. It's at the lower end of the box. And I should make sure that on the right-hand side, this is, put this in your notes. These are for object-oriented programming. Put it in your notes. There's something called object-oriented programming, which we will do. And what we have are attributes and methods. Object-oriented programming has attributes and methods. Now, under period, you see where it says type for me? Mine says day. How did I download my kinetic data? What did it say? End of day, so this should match. Day should match day. What's on your computer, Stone? Under type.
I just changed it. It was
It was minute. Make sure it says day. Did everybody help your neighbors? It should say day. Do you have it, Jack? It should say day under type. You see? And these are all the properties that type can have. So it could go by second, it could go by minute, it could go by day, week. I'm going to have it day. If it says minute, what do I change it to, Jack? Day. And it should say, the label should say AAPL. And now I'm going to say OK. This in a way is similar to a chart that you did in Excel, right? Now, if I look at Apple, at this point in the past, the trend looked like what? It was going down, and just at this point, right, that it looks like it starts to go up. And what we want to do is we want to create a strategy that will tell the computer when to enter a trade, when to exit a trade, and then we want to evaluate how well we did. So, I have something called an indicator. You remember I have indicators? So, go with me on the top. and you see these icons, and these icons a lot of times are good when you know what they are, but this one right next to the dollar sign, if I click on it, let's see, if you click on it, these are a number of indicators that you have. For instance, we have an MSA. You see here where we have R squared? Did we use R squared before in Excel? Did we use R squared before in Excel, Carmen?
Wait,
So
how
this
did you
has
get to
built-in,
indicators?
what?
How did you get to indicators?
Just like this. Help or out, just like this. You see this like dollar sign here to the left
Oh,
of the
yeah.
dollar sign.
Okay.
Everything's easy, you know when, Sarah? When you know it.
Yeah.
Okay? So go down, you'll see R squared, for instance. So a lot of things that we used last week in Excel, you remember those built-in functions? Put this in your notes. A built-in function in Excel is equivalent to an indicator in NinjaTrader. Did you hear that, Brandon?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said formula in Excel is equivalent to
A function in Excel. It's different. A function in Excel
is equivalent to an indicator in chart.
in NinjaTrader. Perfect. So what you do with a trading strategy is that you can use a number of indicators and combine it with rules to tell you when you would enter a trade, when you exit a trade, whether you're going to bet on it going up, which is entering a long, or when you're betting that the stock or the equity will go down, and that's called entering what? Short. All those functions, wow, all those functions, I have to get used to all this new equipment. All those functions are built into NinjaTrader. Even if you're a programmer, you don't have to program those functions that just deal with programming. You don't have some of those enter short and enter long in Excel. You could write it, but you don't have it. So the beauty here, you understand that, Matt? So the beauty here is all those finance kind of trading methods that they use over and over again, somebody's written that for you. So what you have to worry about, Matt, is the logic and making sure that you take the best ones. Now, we got the indicators, and let me just show you something else. Based on all of those, we have to the right of that, it says strategy. So click on strategy. Everybody have a list of strategies? Ryan, do you have it? My point is to you now. NinjaTrader platform comes with some built-in strategies. You can find on the web other free strategies that you can import that will do, or other people can sell strategies, or you can work with teams and create your own strategies, or you can take a given strategy and modify it. What we'll do in this class is start with built-in ones, then we'll modify it, and then those of you that want to get more into depth of it can find other ones that are available for free that you can import. And you can combine a number of strategies together to find the best ones. And one strategy we'll see does not work on all stocks, and one strategy will do well maybe for a certain period of time and then not well at other periods of time. Or one strategy will do well on daily data and another strategy will do well on minute by minute or tick by tick. Yes, Ryan.
How do you determine when the strategy isn't working?
Well, beautiful question. Ryan, did everybody hear Ryan's question? Do you want to repeat, Ryan, your question? It was a great question. And you know I don't always say the great questions, right? But I want you to ask. Okay, Ryan, it's a great question.
How do you know when the strategy is going to stop working?
How do you know when the strategy is going to stop working? Any ideas before I take a stab at it? Everybody, yes, Matt.
Start losing money.
When I start, basically what I want, since it's computerized, I want it to give me a minute by minute analysis of how well I'm doing in performance, right? Just like if you go to the tables, right, and you gamble, right, you're gonna have to have a tally of how well you're doing. And what you may do, excellent question, is you may want to build in already how much risk you want. So you may even build into the rule, Ryan, when it goes down by, let's say, 2%, I want to get out of the trade. Or when it's going up by 5%, I don't want to be what, Garrett? Greedy. I want to get out. You can build those stops already into your system. And a good trader that wants to be in business for a longer period of time always puts those in. Because are we going to be right 100% of the time? Of course not. What do we want to do? We want to minimize our losses and increase our gains, just like anything else. Excellent question. Okay. For right now, we'll start, and that's what we can do is once you get a strategy and say, hey, listen, I want to minimize it, that you can just add those. So, let's start off with a sample. All these are built into Excel, and notice I have one that was not built in that I just imported, but I'm going to start off with one that everybody has. Sample MA, what's MA stand for? Moving average crossover. I'm going to click it, and since it's new for me, what should I press then, Stone?
New.
New. Now, on the right-hand side are all my parameters. Notice right here, put a note, in a sample moving average crossover, I'm going to have two lines. One is going to be what they call a fast, which it seems like 10 periods. What periods am I talking about right now? Ryan, what periods am I talking about? Is it minutes? Does that mean 10 minutes? Days. But I could have done minutes and that 10 would have been 5 minutes. But right now this says 10 days is my what? My fast or my slow? Moving average. Which one, Ryan? You're on a roll.
The 10 days would be this.
Read it. Don't guess.
I can't find it.
Sydney, help him. Fast. Perfect. How many days are slow, Sydney? 25. Can I change those parameters? Yes. And I'll show you later on, Matt, where we can have it. I want to have the most optimal days. What I'll do, how long would it take me to do each time? 10, 9, 8, 7, 15, change it a long time. What I'll show you in another time is that you can have the computer test out all the options automatically and find for that stock what gives me the maximum return. So let's say it may be, for this case, it may be 5.15 for this period for Apple. Excellent question. Okay, we got that part. And then I have here, you can see, I have my properties where I could, in this case, tell the computer to trade for me. For our purposes, we could then get a bank account, we could get a brokerage account, Ryan. Let's say we got a Ameritrade or something like that, put money in the account, or we could put money in the account in Ninja Trader, they're a brokerage, and as we're trading, our strategy, let them do it. But guess what, in this class, we're not doing that. Right, why? We need to learn how, and basically, I don't want all your parents sending me nasty letters that we had millions and now we have nothing, and we all have to find go to the homeless shelter, right? So we don't want that. Okay, so I have enabled, what's it set to? Sydney, what's it set to? What's my property enabled set to right now? False. I want this enabled, so Sydney, what should I set it to? True. Perfect. So set it to true. And you can see here it says the Apple input series, the label is okay. And I have all friends, and now what should I do? I want to apply this, so what should I press then, Sydney? I want to apply this. Apply. And notice it says, although you have order confirmation enabled, orders generated by strategy will be submitted without confirmation. Meaning, Ryan, that sometimes what I'll do is it won't even ask me to confirm. It will keep on trading for me. Right? At this point, since it's simulation, I'm just going to say, okay, I understand that. And now I'm going to say, okay. Yes.
For the I've been trying to get mine to just present the information, and every time I restart it, it just keeps on coming out blank.
Alex, do you want to do me a favor and see what he's doing? And for right now, he'll help you with it, and then look on with somebody else for right now. Okay, and then we'll see. Maybe a bad computer, I don't know what the issue is. Thank you, Alex. Okay, I have two solid lines there. Put this in your notes. I have two solid lines. I have a green line. When I click it, did you see this, Sarah? When I click it, it almost looks like what? Excel, right? It gives me those markers when I click that green line. And when I right click, I go to properties, and you see that this is my SMA, slow or fast? Slow. And then you can see here, if I want to, I could change the color. I could worry about, a lot of times I don't even have to go to the code. I could even change the color of how it looks. You see how it has the color green right there? If I clicked on it, notice I could just pick the colors. You don't have to go into the code and write it, the beauty here. Even if you don't know any programming, Ryan, you can just do it like WYSIWYG. You know, what you see is what you get. So that, the green, put a note there, the solid green means that it's my slow SMA. And my yellow, click on that yellow and right click in properties. And what is that? My slow or my fast? Is it my slow or my fast? Fast. Simple, easy. Now, the dotted line, everybody see the dotted line? The dotted lines are either green or they're red. The green means what? I made money or lost money? Made money. If I take my wheel of my mouse and I go backwards in time, notice there's a green here. And why was it green? I can investigate. And what I can do here, if you look at this little cursor and my crosshair, I can go with my crosshair and I can go to this point and it says sell short 100 at 217.90, what is that, 86,
Is that it?
and then sell short, and it bought it at what level? Ryan, what amount? 150, 165. So that's less, so why did I make money? Why did I make money? It's less than I bought it for, so why did I make money? Garrett, why did I make money? You see this little green line? It's going down. I bought it at 217, and it, because I'm betting it's going to lose money, so I won. Yes, right.
How do you get the process?
Oh, you see here where the cursor is? See the cursor, and it has crosshair? Everything's easy. When what? You know it. Okay. Now at this point, it says buy at this point, right? And what happened? It went down. And at this point, it says short. If I had waited, I may have worried I got out too early. So I could change it. And at this point, what happened? This looks like I bought at this point. And did I make money? Yep. Now, I may have made more money had I gotten out here, right? So what you can do sometimes is you can improve by looking at it. You can improve your algorithms, like trying to find patterns and then have the computer try to find patterns. So you can see sometimes I won and sometimes I lost. And Ryan asked a great question. And that question is, how do I know how I'm doing? And this is what you need to do next week. Next week you have to download, you have to find a symbol. We're all going to do SMA crossover. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the performance. The way you get to the performance is you want to right click. Let me just get my cursor back. Let me just get my pointer back. I'm going to get to my regular pointer again. I'm going to the chart. I'm just going to my regular pointer. Go back to your regular pointer. I'm going to right click on the graph. And I'm going to see how my strategy performance was. You see strategy performance, sample M8 crossover, and I want to see how the historical and real time is working. Everybody understand? I want to go to the chart. I want to right click. I want to go to strategy performance, sample MA crossover 1025, and go to historical and real time. And you should get a chart. Did you get one, Stone?
Yeah.
How did you, what stock did you use? What symbol did you use, Stone?
Apple.
Apple. Okay. One of the things is, I'd rather you not for your homework do something else other than Apple, but we can see what it is. Did Apple make money all along in terms of all trades and long trades? Where did it do better? On short trades or long trades? Short, right? It did 1,200 versus long, it only made $45. So what I wanted, if I wanted to continue, what would I probably do is maybe get rid of the short trades, get rid of the long trades, right? Now, another thing that you want to look at is this is for how long was this for? By default, it's how long. How much data do I have? I have a year data, percent profitable, And you can see here, I got 23%, I got my long trades, I got 25%, my short at 20. My average trades that I did, my average winning trades. This is the area in which I want you to focus in. Folks, put this in your notes. I want you to focus in on the profit per month. And what I want you to do is I want you to play around with symbols for next week and try to increase your profit per month. Because then you can compare it. Maybe I should just put my money in the bank. Maybe I should just put my money in a mutual fund.
So we should compare with stocks and not different strategies?
You can, both ways.
Okay.
You can play around. One trade may be well. So, how do I then, where's a good way to look at this? This looks like what? This looks like it would be perfect, Sarah, for what? A spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So what do we want to do? Your homework assignment will be to export it to Excel. How do you export it to your Excel? Go to Strategy Performance, and then when you're at the sheet here, right click, go to Grid, and what should you do? What? Export to Excel. You see how nice they do it, Ryan, that you really don't have to be in the beginning, you don't have to be a programmer. But what you need to do is you'll be part of the group where you'll have a programmer like Alex, and what the hard thing is to figure out what strategy and what kind of stocks will work with the strategies. And that's where you need to work with the whole team. And that's why that whole area of quant trading, this is where the computer's going to take over. And then the computer then, with artificial intelligence, will be seeing patterns that you don't even see. That's the beauty. Huh? What do you think? And now, then it brought me into Excel. And at this point, what I want you to do is, just like you did in the other part, is I want you to insert a couple of lines. I want you then to put the symbol that you are using. I want you to also put in your name. And on sheet 1, when you're going to rename it, basically, when you're going to rename the file, you'll want to then put the date, the last date that we did, which is what? It was 11/19, and the symbol. And then you can have many sheets there, and then you can have a sheet with the differences. Basically, that we have the sheets, and then kind of highlight what was your best, Sarah, what was your best stock with the best strategy. And then what you'll be doing, just like you did before, is this can be automated. But you need, before you want automation and before you want the computer to do it, Ryan, you have to know what to do. And then you hopefully, with the team, will get better. And hopefully, with the computer algorithms, they will help you learn as well, and machine learning. Yes, Trudy.
So are the differences that we're looking at, the differences between each of our individual stocks that we selected, are we comparing those numbers to something?
Within, first of all, within.
Oh, so just looking at like our group members and how the numbers compare? Okay.
Do you understand? And that's how you'll be looking at groups. And it may be, Trudy, that you may find out later on, you know what, healthcare stocks are really doing well on this. or you remember when we were talking about the sectors, or Apple's doing well. But you know what? In another month, Apple's turning around and it's not doing that well with this. One more thing. But you see why I wanted to, we read that chapter of big data, right? And it didn't come to life. So what I'm trying to show you, that people, you're saying, what is this artificial intelligence? What's happening here is this is what people are doing. I'm doing it in very baby steps, right? But we can't jump any higher. And if you're interested in it, really, then you can start just building upon this. Also, when you start doing strategies, there's something in this called a wizard, that you kind of state what you're looking for, and it will write the code for you. So, what I also want to do is you have the spreadsheet, so you want to save it. So I want to do File, Save As, and this is the format. We're always going to look for, and later on the computer can do the saving as and giving you away, but let me just do it in this way. Let me go to Documents, and then I'll go to my BTE. And I'll go to my BTE right now and save it, 210. And under my BT 210, I'm going to have then, I'll create a new folder, and I'll call that folder, I'll call it NinjaTrader, I'll call it NT, I'll call it NT 7. And then within NT7 in that folder, not only NinjaTrader Performance Report, what's wrong with that name? Trudy, what's wrong with this name? First, it doesn't have the date, so I'm going to put in the date to 11/2019. And maybe I'll even put in a time, right? What time is it now? We're having so much fun, I can't even think straight. 8:15. 8:18 p.m. And then what else do I need is I need to give it the symbol I looked at. I'm going to do then APL. And I'm also going to do SMA, right? And I'm also, I don't need the Performance NinjaTrader. I'm just going to shorten that, NinjaTrader Perf. Perf report, and I'm going to put in my name. And then I'm going to save. And then I'm going to upload that as an item or a file, as an item, and then I can even put in my item when I record it, I can put then what was my profit per month, what did I use, and I can put little descriptions. One more thing that I want to show you, a couple more things, is what did I have on my NinjaTrader then? You remember, go back to your control center, find your control center. Everybody found their control center? Jerry, do you have your control center?
I got it right here.
Good. Put this in your notes. In the control center, you want to go to Tools. Control center, you want to go to Tools. And you want to go to Edit Ninja Script. And what do you think you want to look at? The strategy or the indicator? Strategy, beautiful. And which strategy?
Sample MA crossover.
Sample, right? Not simple, but sample MA crossover. Say OK. And this is the code. Now, since this is sample, I'll show you later on is they don't let you change the sample. Why? Because they don't want you to screw it up. But later on, next week, I'll show you how you can unlock code and you can play around with it. So for right now, what I want you to do is I want you to copy the code and put it in a text file or in a Word document. And once you have it in a Word document, then what I want you to do is I want you to save that code, and within it, where you see where these on line 4, and you see line 1 through 4, put in your notes there, line 1 through 4 are comments in source code. This is source code, and all those that begin with those two symbols are comments where the computer does not understand it. It's for human resources. It's for the human to read. And at that line, on line 4, you can put your name and the date. Go ahead and copy it to like a Word document, and you can save it as your strategy sample MA crossover with your name on it. And this would be a great test question. Given this code, for instance, who can tell me what line 38 means? Who wants to take a shot at it? Yeah, Matt.
It's just saying that this fast SMA is going to be orange.
Right. Or we can read it, instead of left to right, we can read it right to left and say the orange color of that pen, of that plot, of the SMA fast, right? What's the next line? You're on a roll, Matt. What's the next line?
The slow one's green.
The slow one's green. And if you wanted to change it, you remember you could change it in the properties, or where's another place to change it, is you could change it in the source code. But easier is just changing the property, because I don't even need to know what the name, the color is written. All I have to do is change it right there. But these are the kind of things that you can change. Yes.
What's the too fast and slow again?
You remember the number of days? We had like 10 days and 25 days. So it would take 10 days together and do the average, another 10 days and create their average. That's kind of fast. And this one, because it's a moving average. How do you get an average? Let's say we had 100 numbers and we divided it up by, we'd add up all the numbers and divide it by 100. In this case, they take a series of 10 of those closing day prices, or the closing day prices, and put it together, and it creates then that moving day average. So sometimes what they want to do in terms of technical indicators, they want to say when those two averages cross over, we want to do something. When it's below, one is below the other, then we want to buy. When it's above one around the bot, we want to enter short. Remember?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent question, still. Keep it up. Now, look at line 82. Is it 82, 52? This would be a great quiz question or test question. This is source code. Did you write it? No. But you can understand it. And then with your group, for instance, if you had a team, Sarah, then you could kind of figure out what do we need to do to modify it to get a better strategy. So who can read this and let us know what's happening here? Who wants to give it a try? Who wants to volunteer? Read it and make it in plain English. What do you think, Yasmin? Give it a try. First read it. That's the start.
If cross above, SMA fast, SMA slow, 1, enter long.
Okay, enter long. Let's just stop here. So if we crossed above the fast, crossed above the slow, what do we want to do, Yasmin?
It's Yasmin. But
Yasmin, please correct me.
after we cross above, I don't know, the SMA goes fast.
Think about it. Let's not don't give up. If the cross above, the SMA fast crosses above the slow one, what do you want the computer to do? What does it that next line say? Buy it. Enter long. Then you expect it to go up or you expect it to go down when you enter long? Up. You're betting that that's going to go up. It's going to be, now you're on a roll. Else if what?
Else if it goes,
The SMA fast
goes below.
goes below which one? Goes the SMA slow. You remember we had the green one and we had the yellow one. Then what do we want it to do?
Then you want to sell it.
Well, we want to sell it, or what are we going to bet? That it's going to be going down or it's going to be going up?
But it's going to be going down.
Right, I'm betting that it's going down. That's the essence of this strategy. Now, if it were so simple, maybe we'll find a different, maybe we'll even with this simple strategy, and we've done it in other classes, that people say, oh, this couldn't work because it's so simple, and how much did we pay for it? Nothing. It turned out there were some companies that did enormously well for short periods of time just by doing that. And then I'll show you, we can just optimize it and see, it picks like 10 and what was it, 10 and, what was it, 10 and 25. Later on, we'll have the computer go ahead and not only take one stock, we can give it like 20 stocks, go through and find for each stock what are the best combinations. And try and maximize, what are we looking for? Profit per month. So I want you to, and what basically, it'd be a great test question, Jack, is to give you code like that and explain this to me in English. I wouldn't be asking you write the code from scratch, because guess what? You don't have to. And then later on, if you know the strategy, you know the logic, then you can find a programmer anywhere in the world to write your strategy. That's not the hard part about this. What's the hard part? It's finding the winning strategy. But once you get that winning strategy for those periods of time, and how can you do it? You get it automated and you just basically tell it, after I only want you to pick those that are 0.5% profitable per month. Give me only those stocks. Give me those time periods. And you can go to the beach, you have your phone, and then you put in what, Ryan? You put in stops. When it goes below 2%, you decide how much risk. Get out of it. I don't want to do it. And there's something, let's say we find something really horrible, God forbid tomorrow happen in the market, and everything's crashing. You say, hey, I want to stop trading completely. I don't want to be in the market. You have discretionary over this. But a lot of times, if it's doing well, what do you need to sit there? And that's why everybody's thinking about artificial intelligence, machine learning. This is what is behind it. Everybody talks about fintech. This is fintech. And you can think about it in any process that you do. This is in the trading. You set the rules. You set what the algorithms are. So let's review what's for homework for next week. Who wants to help for the review? Noah, let's start with you. What's one thing you have to do?
Make sure that you look at this stuff and put in new symbols.
Basically, let's review. First of all, we need to do the quiz. For which chapter? 4. For security. We need to read that security. We also need to do what? We also need to download the automated trading system. and there's a link to Wikipedia on automated trading systems on that PowerPoint. We need to be prepared to discuss that next week. And the third part is that we want to do NinjaTrader. We want to pick a symbol. We're going to do SMA. And those of you that SMA, we're going to look at the strategy performance, look at the profit per month, export it, find the best ones that you have, and you may want to play around with a couple of them, not just one, but play around with a couple of symbols, see what you can get to maximize it. Then with your group, you want to, let's do this now, is you want to go to automated, let's go to your audit area. People were asking, where do I put all this, right? We want to go to not the regular one, but which one? The audit KX. You want to go to course documents. You want to go to your group. And in FinTech, this is where you were asking, Sarah, the XLSX, this can be what you were doing last week in your forecasting. You can create another folder, and that folder I'll call NinjaTrader, or NT, I'll call it NT7. And then under NT7, I'll put in the performance reports, right? I'll label it, I can even do in this case, I can do even another content folder, and I'll call it performance reports.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we need two more.
And then I have my performance reports, and in my performance reports, I want to upload them as items.
So we can upload ourselves.
And then in this area, talk about what conclusions you had. Put in your names, put in your conclusions. This was my profit per month, Ryan, Apple, and then I did my other ones. And you can put within the book, you can put many different worksheets.
NT7 first, and then
You can see it in the group. I put it in my group 0. So you can use my group 0 as my course. How did that go? Yes, Michelle.
So basically, we're gonna do this entire process and choose with another symbol. Okay.
You'll use another symbol, and then you'll play around. Feel free to play around with it. You know, you may want to change the parameters. You may want to try to do, let's say you're going to do Microsoft, and let's say you'll do Google or
And
something.
then just download the code.
And download the code.
Upload the code.
Download it. First of all, make a copy of it. You know how to get to the code, right? And just so you get the idea of the source code, and put it in a word processor, and add your name to it. And then try to understand those two sections about what it means. You can even write what are explanations.
Are we uploading the code or the Excel?
Both.
Are they the same?
With your name, Diana. Stay with me if you have questions.
Thank you.
Did it help?
Yeah.
And I think we got and we got it going better. Sure. And ask other people to help you. Don't be shy. You know, in this classes, other classes, you know, maybe do your own work. Don't you know, on your homework and so it has to be all of yours. It has to be yours that you've done it, but you can basically work with others that, like when Sarah was helping you, she helped you. Sarah can do another company, you can do another one. And basically when Sarah helps you, you can help Sarah when she's stuck. And that's the whole idea for the team effort. And that's what agile development is all about, is working in teams, seeing where everybody has weaknesses, help them so we can get to the next stage. And if we can't get it all in this time, don't worry, but you have to explain, where am I stuck? Rather than or just hands up and I just didn't do it. You have to reach out to people to help you. And you have in the audit area, you have everybody's number so you can text everybody. If your group can't, go look what other people, those that are stars can help you. You know what I mean? And then you'll help them.
Awesome, thank you.
I think you guys did a great job.
Is there a sign sheet? Sign gift?
I didn't do one. You miss it? You miss it? Stone, do me a favor. Next week, remind me, you'll be number one signing. Okay? And how are you doing now? So who's in your group? And so what it turned out to me, you know what's good? Sit down now and fresh in your mind and help Turner right now with the assignment.
I took step by step.
No, but show them now. It's not even step by step. See how well you do, and then when you're stuck. Because you know what I mean? You do step by step, but you may have missed one step. Sit with them, and you can almost finish your homework now. So my dears here, how are we doing? We got everything? And how we do with the Excel? Did we do the Excel or no?
We did it.
You did it? Okay, and you're working well with the group? Everything's good? Okay.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Okay. So, let's talk about some things. So,
I have a question with the indicator, actually. I'm looking into this right now, so there's a section in it called GOS, and I'm wondering if that refers
but you do even look at the indicator. Did you try it on the chart? Just physically on
I
the chart?
can put it in the chart, yeah. It's more incorporating into a strategy.
Yeah,
Some
right.
of it, I don't understand what's been done. I don't know. So there is a section called GOS in the indicator,
Yeah.
and
Let me
I'm
just-
not sure if that refers to like Gaussian process or not, which is.
I didn't write it, so we, did you look it up? It came from,
Because a
what was
Gaussian process is like.
PRC2, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Ninja Trader. And this was 7 or this was 8? 7.
It's for both.
Yeah, but let's see. So did you look at any of these? We may need, because I didn't write it. So,
It's just understanding the code. They have a lot of like.
yeah,
variations
right,
in
so,
that.
right. So what I would do first, before we start looking at the code, is try to basically, what, thank you. So hopefully then, Turner, did you do the Excel for last week?
Yeah, I got it.
Can you sit with Ryan
Yeah.
and show him, did you get the?
I showed him what I did and my notes, and he was there for a little while. I caught him up when he came back.
No, but I mean from the Excel part.
No, the
Yeah,
Excel
I
where
got
we
it.
took the code and we put it. Sorry, not the code. We put
From
took
last
the
week,
table.
I'm talking about,
Yeah,
not
yeah, I
from
did
today.
that.
Oh yeah. You all did that.
Oh, okay, so perfect.
Thank you.
Let me just, I don't even think I have it here, let me just see. What does it say here? Did you look at any of this or what they're talking about? The Ninja,
No, is that for PRC2 right there?
I don't know. And I don't know where it's coming, let me just see, the PRC2, stocks and commodities.
Is it a public indicator?
I don't think it's free. I don't know who wrote it. But it basically here, technical analysis.
I don't see PRC2. Maybe
Maybe
click the
P-
must include.
Yeah, where's my must include?
It's at the bottom
Right
of the
here.
search. Just click on the PRC2. That includes.
Trader's tips, is this PRC2?
Yeah, it looks like they are a public indicator.
Well, it's not, but it's Trader Tips. You can basically, let's see if this here. Yeah, PRC, see? I don't know if this is the PRC that they're using too.
It's not, because they have the dark green colors in
What?
there.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
So you need to find, and I'll look for it, I need to find where it was originated.
Okay, because
See, well, because I didn't write it.
if you look at the
Understand?
code, they have a lot of very advanced math in there that seems a little more.
Yeah, but don't worry about that part of understanding it. It'll be- Hi,
I have a question about exam 1.
about what?
Exam 1. The
Ex-
first midterm exam.
Oh, okay. What's the
So
question?
it's about like all questions are multiple choice, it's questions or true or false questions.
It's a combination.
Combination.
Plus open-ended that you have to write.
So I have to write.
The answers.
So like short answers.
I'll give you an example. You were here just now, right?
Yeah.
So to do the, like, with the automated trading systems. Like to understand the code.
Oh,
Okay.
so like which codes are source codes or
Not which code, but like, remember we did the source code?
yeah.
And we were reading the if and then, the if then else,
Oh,
that you have to understand what that meant.
Okay, thank you.
And then I'll go over it, we'll do a review, so there may be things on, about automating trading systems, what's the difference between an indicator and a strategy. So the open-ended, I'll tell you in advance what type of questions, but there'll be more, our exercises in class rather than what was in the textbook. Cause there's two parts of this
Yes, that
class,
makes sense.
is like with the quizzes coming from the book, and then our hands-on exercises.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it'll be two parts, so it won't be that you just can memorize, you know what I mean? The answer is B or C, okay? But
Everything-
actually understand what's the purpose of this. What's your major?
Finance.
Finance,
Yeah.
so, and yours?
accounting.
Again, so it's perfect for you,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
kind of things, this is what they're gonna ask you. And when you think about it, I was telling you before, where are you from?
China.
China, and where are you from?
Me too.
Yeah, so they were talking about today that President Trump was saying, that China's really getting big on artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So all these things, the world is becoming more competitive. So they'll basically have a group of teams writing the rules for all these types of systems. So if you're in finance, you'll be sitting with a finance person, and then you'll be sitting with an accounting person, because the accounting person doesn't want you to lose money,
Yeah. That's
right? And you're gonna be and making sure that the money, and then you'll be talking with a computer science person, he's gonna be writing the code for you. You have to come up, and then you'll have another physics major and a math major, right? And you'll be working, and you may be working throughout the world,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you'll be looking at Chinese stocks, or they'll be thinking about what, Baidu or something like that, or Alibaba, what should I be doing, or where's
One
where's
of my teammates looked Alibaba.
yeah, so I'm just saying, but you'll see where's the trend now, Apple, they're blaming it on the Chinese. You see Apple stock
Yeah,
is going
yeah, I
down. They
know.
said, cause people in China, somebody was saying, are people in China
Yeah,
really
Chinese.
boycotting Apple, or is it just because it's too expensive, or there's some other reason?
Yeah.
So you'll be like analysts maybe for the world saying, hey, no, this is real, or this is, we feel, and then you may even go to, Twitter accounts or some other accounts that you feel the pulse of what's happening in China. It's a global world,
Thank you.
So so do the homework, but that's what part of the questions are gonna be like.
Okay.
And what other considerations do you need to add to it? And maybe of what's happening. So when you get to Apple, there may be Americans looking at Apple, but you may be looking as Chinese, knowing the Chinese market, there's a reason. Or the idea is now all of a sudden with tariffs, people are moving away from manufacturing from China and going to maybe Vietnam or somewhere else, or Taiwan.
Yeah. That makes sense.
you know, and having more of a global work to it. So feel free to keep on asking me questions if you're not comfortable during class, after class, or
Okay.
before class, okay?
Thank you, Professor.
I want you to do well, okay?
Have a
Perfect.
good week.
We'll see you.
See ya.
Okay. So what you know, you can look at it, but I don't want us to get so bogged down. Oh, do you know macros in Excel?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You know, be interesting to do before we even do this is maybe write some macros for our homework assignments.
Okay, I know the basics of it, but I can't get anything too advanced in.
Start even do this when you get to Excel.
Yeah.
Even give a little tutorial of showing the class. It's a nice example. Let me just get my Excel. It's a nice example.
Yeah, we're learning macros right now in analytics.
Okay, but I'm just saying that, and you can get it further into it, but even in the beginning is, once I have my data,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I can't hear you. Yeah, which one? Okay, check. Is this the right? Is this upside down?
No.
Check the other one. Those, let me take, look at the live. Is the live on the bottom? The counter's on the bottom here. On the black one is the
Bottom
counter.
here.
The
Yeah.
counter's on the counter's on the bottom of both of them. Is the image upside up? Yeah.
Yeah.
On both of them. I don't know why either. It's strange, huh? Yeah. 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 We see it straight up. So what we can do is there's nothing like this. Like even what you can do is you can create a macro. You can even do like 3 or 4 macros. Put them in. Do you know how? And put them into a full macro.
Yeah.
And have one each of them. Even start off with 4 simple macros.
Okay.
Then put them into a large macro
Yeah.
that runs it. And then for students that were having issues, they can see how it can all be uploaded. So it used to be, you can try it out, but there were even problems. There used to be a built-in macro in Microsoft where you could go out to like Finance Yahoo with the quote APL history
Yeah.
and
you can directly connect it.
and do it. And even if you can't do that, even once you get the data in, basically create a macro to do this part, right, that I highlight, right? Do another part
Yeah.
where I'm doing the chart.
I've used apps before in Excel that can directly get data from Yahoo Finance.
Right,
I can
right.
pull it and
Yeah, so
Yeah.
something like that, and then you can really see already this way, and then do like a performance report,
Yeah.
and every day it gets updated for you.
Okay.
Let's start off simple.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? And then worry about the PRC. And since we didn't write the code, neither did I. You know, we were looking at it in the beginning just as seeing it was another indicator that we could incorporate into it.
Mhm.
But let's even do that. Start with this, and this could even be part of your project
Yeah.
for the class, and then you could show the class how do you do a macro. You could even, what'd be nice is even screencast, how do you do a macro?
Okay. Just
For
like
the
a
class.
basic macro.
The basic macro using this,
Okay.
not just basic macro, something
Yeah, but
stupid.
using the
Using this
bucket.
one, this one. How do you create, what do you need to do for a Mac? What do you need to do,
Yeah.
because people you have to set it up differently for a Mac version of Excel versus a Windows version of Excel.
Yeah. Okay. I can do that.
You know what I mean? And then it'll be nice. It can be all the work that you can do that I'm asking you to do can be part of your project for the
Okay.
class.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I always like, my philosophy in life is reusability.
Yeah.
If I can use it again and see it again and again. So you can start with this one, and this is kind of like the beginning of trying to do any of those systems, right?
Okay.
Is it, when you think about the robotics and you think about the automation in a small sense, right? You can do that, and then of course it needs to be on the web, and that's one of the issues. And then later on, it's like they were starting to use, even moving away from VBA and starting with JavaScript.
Yeah.
Like Google got some automation, they use JavaScript doing its automation. But let's start simple, where even all these students that are not even semi-computer literate can do a macros, and then they can see how they can take and they've already done it manually. Why do they have to do it each time? They just pick a stock, right? Or they pick a time period.
And then you can automatically analyze it. Yeah. Okay.
And did you find out from that how you log in, and
Yeah.
what were we doing wrong?
There are 2 jobs I have posted for some reason. One is bi-weekly and then one is the part-time hourly.
And
So
why
I
do
just had to switch jobs. I don't know why there were 2, but
Okay.
yeah.
So you
figured it out,
you
yeah.
figured it out.
Yeah.
So let's do that, and then let's do that for Wednesday. Let's come.
Okay.
So your assignment for Wednesday is, let's get them to get a lapel mic.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe send them basically an email to, and I'll send the mail to.
Yeah.
And then I'll CC it to you. Let's do that now.
No.
To that David, he's in charge.
Yeah, he didn't respond to my
I
last
know.
email.
So he may respond tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cause you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's an adjunct in my department, so I think he'll think twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me just send it to you. Okay. Okay, David. I'm gonna just compose. Issues. What's his? SB 204, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have the issue, and then we also need Ninja Traders.
We do.
Seth.
There's a different guy to email for that. Let me double check. I think it's
Well, he's the head, okay, so
the
email
guy
him
who can
too.
Install it. Yeah.
One.
His email. I'll give it to you if you want it. It's
Well, I'm gonna send him here, and then you email him the
Okay.
thing, you know what I mean? So, hi, David.
Jorge Rodriguez is the one who does the software installs.
I did not get it with Hellman. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah, they went to replace the batteries. Never came back. There's extra paper for menu tags.
Okay. Can you do me a favor and shut these down,
The
cameras?
Oh, yeah.
stop them in each recording and then. Stop it.